Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and we are inside our showroom today because it's wintry outside, and I tried doing this video for you yesterday, but it was so cold that my wireless microphone froze. So we're inside here. If you're not used to seeing us like this, don't worry about it. We got plenty of video we're going to do outside in the coming days, but this is our very first look at the 2020 Kia Soul. So behind me I have the EX Limited. It's the top of the line, it's got everything, and we're going to spend the next several days going through all the little details that have changed. We've also got an EX in stock, and the big thing I like about that is Kia's done something that I've never seen them do before. They have a completely different face to the car. So in this car, you've got headlights up top here, which are LED headlights. We'll talk about them in a second. And you've got fog lights and signal lights down here. On the EX that we'll show you in another video, it's an orange car. We'll show it to you tomorrow. It's got round headlights down here and signal lights where this has headlights. So when you see this car on the road, it could look like a completely different car depending on which model you see. But in this video, we're going to look at all the toys and all the features in the EX Limited. Alright, so let's take a closer look at that face, the face of the car that we talked about. You've got these LED lights, and that is the same on every trim level, so it doesn't really show great in the video here. I'll show you a picture of them, but they're a really sharp, thin line that goes on every Kia Soul. The difference is what's above those LED lights. So what I'll do is I'll turn the headlights on right now, and on this car, you end up with two LED lights here that are your actual headlights. Two inside are your high beam lights. So it looks kind of like they're all lit, but these ones here are your actual headlights. Inside, you just have sort of daytime running lights type thing. And when I flash the high beam, you'll see that they come on the inside lights. So really, really bright lights, really white lights. I think they look sharp. These LED lights are also having that sharp, they also give you that sharp cutoff. What that sharp cutoff does is it meets all the safety standards for glare, because safety standards, crash safety standards now include headlights. And I'm sure these headlights are going to be top scoring headlights. They just, the way they are, that's what they look for, is a really sharp cutoff, but still really bright light, less glare. Moving down here, these three LED lights are your fog lights. You can turn them on or off. You don't have to run with them all the time. I think they look really cool. And then you've got your signal light in here. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the signal. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Maybe I'll turn the fog lights off for a second. So there's the signal light down here. Now keep in mind, in the EX and LX version, this signal light is actually where your headlights are. So again, round lights down here shows you it's an EX or an LX. Anytime you get LED lights up here, or the signal light is down here again, you're looking at EX Plus and above. So lots of trim level differences, but again, a completely different face on this car. So other Kia things we should point out, maybe I'll turn the headlights off again. So what you end up with is a few different changes here. The big, huge grille here. Kia always does the tiger nose grille. That's what they're known for. And you'll notice a lot of our cars, they have a pinched in area in the grille, in the center here. This one has that in the lower grille. Most of our cars have it up here. Things like the Rio, the Forte, you'll notice that up here. This one really keeps that Kia Soul look. And the reality is, this isn't designed to look like every other Kia, it's designed to look like a Kia Soul. And from a distance, it really doesn't look like much of an update. But there's a ton of little details on this car that make it look very, very high end. So EX Plus and above, this car looks a class above every other car, just with the details. So a couple things down here that make this look a class above. Some silver detailing here, brushed aluminum kind of look, all around the bottom, and in through all these little pegs on the front here. This is a false grille, but there is a aluminum piece, or aluminum look piece, that runs through and sort of comes in line with these LED lights. Really sharp detailing, really sharp look. One thing I forgot to mention, the tiger nose grille kind of continues its look here. Below the logo, there's a slight dip here, and that just fits in with that tiger nose grille down here. Very Kia look. We're going to move to the back of the car now, and then we're going to look at the trunk. We're going to work our way to the back seat and the driver's seat, where there's a lot of changes as well. All right, because we're filming indoors, we're a little pinched off here, a little tighter than we maybe would be otherwise, but there's a couple little details I can show you. First of all, this one again is the one with the LED taillights. So LED taillights, you'll notice the difference is it's kind of a looped light. So you've got sort of two lines here that come and connect at the bottom, connect to the top. If they don't have LED lights, you're gonna see this all lit together, the whole inside as well, and it's the incandescent bulb, so the regular red as opposed to those real instant on LEDs. I really like the LED look, but both look really sharp. The big difference again is that they come in here and you have this sort of, I don't know if it's a reflector or not, but the red plastic trim wraps around. So it looks in the daytime like there's red all the way around, although at nighttime there's no lights up here other than your high mount stop lamp. Down on the body itself, a little bit of trim piece on the bottom. Really the only carryover piece I think at all in this car is in Canada they get the badging that's basically the same. It's a silver badging like we've always done, sort of a chrome look badging. And a couple of differences is your backup camera is moved from a little knob here in the center to just sitting underneath by the handle to open the trunk. So it's a little more hidden, a little more clean look, really sharp, modern look. And the big thing all of our salespeople are saying, a lot of our staff is saying, is the Soul looks a little bit more like an SUV now, a little bit more like a crossover. Now I drove it last night, still drives like a car. In fact, it drives a lot better than it ever used to drive. But it looks a little bit more like an SUV than sort of a car. And I think that's a good move. I think that's where we should be headed. That's what's selling. Opening up the trunk. Big thing you notice is instead of having a flat floor here, what I've done is I've taken advantage of the new feature. You can have the floor sit here, and I'll put that out for you in a second. Right now it's down lower, maybe 6 inches, maybe 8 inches, but it's certainly down much lower than it used to be. They've gotten rid of the underfloor styrofoam type area and allowed you to drop the actual floor down that distance. So you gain some space just from that. Overall, it does feel a tiny bit bigger to me with the floor up. And if you want to raise that floor, what you do is you just do that. And again, this whole floor panel has tie downs, so you still have underfloor storage if you want, but now because it doesn't have that styrofoam piece, you can drop the whole floor and gain the space that you want. The other thing I should say is it looks like I'm ducking, and I probably am, but I don't need to be. I'm about 6 feet tall. I'm standing underneath here. I've got a good couple inches between here and the tailgate itself, so lots of space that way. This one has a cargo cover that's removable. The seats fold down almost flat. People are always very worried about if the seats fold flat. Most cars, they don't anymore. This car is very, very, very close to flat. So we'll talk about that in 1 second. There's the back end. You've got a Harman Kardon, 2 Harman Kardon speakers in the side here on the high-end trim, and this one has the best sounding stereo I've ever heard in a Kia Soul. Really, really sharp. You've also got a power point back here, 12-volt power point. So let's move to the back seat. We'll show you that. We're going to get the driver's seat, and like I said, there's a lot to show you in the driver's seat. Okay, rear seat of the Kia Soul, big test. Can I do what I've always done in every other Kia Soul? Yes, I can. I can get in easily. So a couple things with the Kia Soul. A lot of these small crossovers, what they do is they shrink the rear seat so much that it becomes unusable. And that's the thing why I think the Kia Soul's done so well for us. This seat is one of the most comfortable rear seats in any car of any class. And the reason for it is your legs are flat on the seat. I've got a ton of headroom. So I've got a fist and more fingers above my head before I touch the ceiling. I'm at a comfortable angle on the back where I'm reclined. The armrests in this car are padded. I've got heated rear seats, 2 levels of seat heating. It's just a really, really comfortable place to sit. You've got an armrest in here with extra cup holders. You've got a power point down there for a USB plug. And it's just a really comfortable area. And that's why this car does well. You can get that small compact size, but have 5 adults come with you comfortably anywhere. And if you want to go on a really long trip, 4 adults for all day, every day. It's just, that's what makes the Soul work. So comfortable place. This one has LED lights inside. We'll show you them a little bit later. And you got a nice light color interior. This car has black leather, black perforated leather. We're going to talk about those perforations in a second. The interior is all new. It used to be all round everywhere. A lot more angular interior now. I like it. It's a really updated look. The previous Kia Soul was always an award-winning interior. People were really impressed with it. This one steps it up a notch again. And we're going to talk about that in the driver's seat. All right, the driver's seat of the new 2020 Kia Soul. Everything is different here, but a lot of things are similar. So first of all, we always used to have that real keyhole look to the door. Everything's a lot more angular, and we're going to show you in a minute that this car has, actually we'll show you right now. This car has ambient lighting. So you can see in the video here, ambient lighting up above the door handles, ambient lighting down around the sort of that shape there underneath the armrest there. Tons of ambient lighting that goes to the music and blinks to music. You can set that up. That's amazing. It looks cool. But the amazing part about it is you would have no idea it's there in bright daylight. So when you start to get a little dimmer and you can start seeing those ambient lighting, it looks so cool. You can customize it. People don't expect it. It's super high-end looking. Let's talk basic features. So Kia Soul, comfortable. How does it get comfortable? Tilt and telescopic steering wheel. You've got, this one's got a powered seat. I think the seats are either bigger, there's something about them that's different. Bigger is usually more comfortable in a car like this, and they are definitely more comfortable. There was nothing wrong with the previous Kia Soul seats, but you sit in these and you feel like you belong, and I think that's really cool. So speaking of cool, heated and cooled seats on this model here. So you've got 3 levels of ventilation, 3 levels of heating. You've also got a heated steering wheel. So the heated steering wheel button used to be down here, now it's over here, right by your heated seats. I think that makes sense. It's a more ergonomic place for that. So a lot of the things, like I said, things used to be round, now they're square. You've got unique steering wheel controls on this car compared to every other car. There's still a real round sort of function to them, but you've got audio controls, you've got cruise control here, you've got your smart cruise control buttons, information display buttons you can hit through there, audio controls on this side here, Bluetooth, automatic wipers here, automatic headlights, automatic lots of stuff. This car also has a heads-up display, so I don't know if I can show it in the video, but what you have is this little screen that pops up, mechanically powers up from the dash, and it puts a heads-up display. So things like our Stinger has that, the Telluride's going to have that on the top trim levels, and you can get it in a Kia Soul now as well. Very cool feature. It's not just your speed. Lane keeping assist, which is the feature that's sort of like a lane departure warning, but it's also actively able to steer the car to keep it centered in the lane. Those features will show up there. Blind spot features, a number of features you can show up there. You can change the color, change the brightness, change the angle, so you can adjust it to different people. Really cool feature, but they didn't just throw a cheapy heads-up display up there. They gave you a lot of usable information. Let's talk about all kinds of things. We're going to work our way to that 10.25 inch screen, which is incredible, but I want to stay away from that for a second. A couple things that you may not know about is it has an auto stop start feature. So what that means is if you stop at a stoplight, the engine will actually turn itself off. Now you can turn that feature off. Some people don't like that feature. I personally do. I think there's no point wasting fuel when you're sitting at a stoplight. And this car has a little button here that tells you it can do that. I drove one home last night, even in the middle of the winter. It works fine, turns the car off. If it needs heat, it'll obviously turn itself back on. But you know, the way I had it set with the climate control, it was turning itself off even in the middle of winter, saving some fuel. Makes total sense. And as soon as you release the brake, instantly the car starts again. So they've used that in hybrids forever. It's a common feature, very common in Europe. They brought it here on the Kia Soul, so I think that's good. Angular details. You've got big vents here on the side and the little tweeters in there. Again, this one has the Harman Kardon sound system. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The best sound system ever in a Kia Soul. Really, really cool. All right, what else can we talk about before we talk about that 10.25 inch screen, which we'll get to? This one's got automatic climate control, a little bit different display here. You can see pictures of that. The gear shift is directly out of the Kia Forte, and that makes sense because the powertrain is directly out of the Kia Forte. So you've got the same 2-liter engine, same horsepower, same transmission. It's our IVT transmission. Works fantastic. People tell me they hate continuously variable transmissions, CVT transmissions. All I need to say to those people is drive this car and then tell me you hate it. Because if you're telling me you hate it before you've driven it, it's like saying you hate cars because you hate the original Model T or you hate the way the Volkswagen Beetle, the original Volkswagen Beetle drives. Things have progressed with CVT transmissions. This one drives great. It's also built very strong. Sometimes the knock against a CVT transmission is that it's not strong enough. Kia gave us a whole realm of reasons of why this CVT transmission is a stronger, better system. And I have a lot of faith in it. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but it drives really well, feels like a regular transmission. Drive modes, you've only got 2, normal and sport. So I didn't expect that, but that's kind of cool. Normal and sport keeps things simple. Sport when you want to have some fun, normal when you're doing everything else. Simplifies it, I like that. All right, that 10.25 inch screen. We're gonna show you that in another video. Basically what you've got is 2 panels like we've always had. So the software allows for 2 panels, just like we always had in the 8-inch screen, but it gives you an extra third. So another panel again, which you can customize. We're gonna do an entire video on this screen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto take up the entire screen in case you were wondering, but everything else you can customize into multiple panels. It's gonna need an entire video. Look for it on our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that now because you'll find that on our channel. That's the big thing we got to talk about, and like I said, we'll have it. We've got UVO intelligence in this car in Canada, so that means you can start the car from an app on your phone, you can locate it, you can do all kinds of things, lock and unlock your car, a lot more cell phone type access. You can see 3 buttons on the mirror. That tells you that the cars have it. Sunroof in this car. It is a normal sunroof. People asked if it had a panoramic sunroof. It does not. It is a normal size sunroof right above the driver, and because of the angular nature of this car, that light is above you. Some of these smaller sunroofs, they sit behind the driver and there's really no benefit. You still see as much light as you would have on our panoramic roof, but your rear passengers don't have that panoramic roof anymore. All right. Moving through, start button is where it should be on a Kia Soul, right next to the gear shift, so that's there. You've got a cool little cell phone tray up here. That's a wireless charging tray on this car. Below that, just a normal charging or normal storage port, 12-volt charge port, USB charge port, and USB connection for your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Padded armrest, power windows, power locks, power doors, or power mirrors, power seats. Lot of features in this car. So this is just our introductory look. If you're interested in this car, like I said, we have a ton more videos coming out of this car. We're going to talk about smart cruise control. We're going to talk about lane keeping assist. We're going to talk about this huge screen. We're going to talk about the dash layout. We're going to do test drive videos of this car. If you have questions, let us know because we're going to put it on video. We're going to be a leader on this car on video. We're going to be a leading dealer for this car. We just won Kia's Prestige Award, and I was going to show it to you. It's actually in the back of the video. If you watch the beginning of the video, it's kind of in the back of the video. But that means we're top 3% or top 3 percentile dealer in the world. That's how you win the Prestige Award. If you're looking to buy a Kia, Brantford Kia is the place to buy it for. So subscribe to our channel, keep an eye out for us, and we'll have all kinds of information. And swing by Brantford Kia to test drive one for yourself.